The Eagles lost one superstar yesterday, but a new report this morning suggests another star could be eager to return to Philadelphia, but GM Howie Roseman might be looking for bigger fish to fry when the new league year starts next week. And in this video, I'm going to dive into all those combine rumors. We'll also give you an update on CJ Gardner Johnson's possible return to Philadelphia, DeAndre Swift's free agent plans, and a whole lot more. I'm Thomas Mott. This is the Thomas Mott Show. Well, now that we all had a good cry yesterday after Jason Kelce's tear-jerking retirement speech, listen, we got to focus on the task at hand. There's a new league year happening next week, and Philadelphia has a bunch of cap space, a bunch of spending power, and while I was fishing for permanent in the Keys over the weekend, a lot of new rumors dropped on the Eagles' potential free agent targets. The first big one has to do with running back DeAndre Swift, and according to Dan Graziano of ESPN, Philadelphia Eagles running back DeAndre Swift will most likely hit free agency and will have interest from several teams. Now, like you, I was pretty shocked by this. Swift was really good when the Eagles actually tried to use him last season and seemingly enjoyed his time in Philadelphia and wants to return. Allowing him to hit the free agent market along with other free agents, Boston Scott, and I guess some guy named Rashad Penny, I don't know who that is, they never used him, means Kenny Gainwell is the only running back actually on contract for 2024. Now, on one hand, this could mean that Howie and company might go big fish hunting for a Derrick Henry or Saquon Barkley, more on him in a second, but also could mean they could go for some of the cheaper running back options like, for instance, an Alexander Mattison to pair with Gainwell, and then, of course, draft another running back in what is, literally an ever-deep running back class every single year in college football. Still, though, if you want to go big fish hunting, well, the Giants did announce a couple of minutes ago that Saquon Barkley officially is not coming back. They will not re-sign the running back. He will hit the free agent market, and if you were Howie Roseman, would you give the G-Man a call? Now, for me, the easiest thing to do would just be to re-sign DeAndre Swift. Give him a nice team-friendly deal, a cheap running back deal, bring him back. He knows the offense, he knows the system, he likes being in Philadelphia. It's all pluses there. You just use him more than you did in 2023. But historically, Howie Roseman is reluctant to give running backs multiple contracts, to give them a second deal. He didn't do it with Miles Sanders last year for the better, because Sanders tanked with the Panthers, and he might not do it for DeAndre Swift this season. I'm fascinated by what they may or may not do at running back, because it's definitely a need right now with Swift hitting free agency, but they have a lot of other needs on defense as well. And speaking of those needs, the big news out of the Combine was this Jeremy Fowler report that suggested that a CJ Gardner Johnson reunion in Philadelphia is on my radar. The Eagles realized they missed a talented safety in the secondary. Tennessee makes sense for him too. Titans DC Denard Wilson's a big fan of Gardner-Johnson from their Philly days, which blew my mind. Where is this coming from? Does everybody forget exactly what happened when CJ Gardner-Johnson didn't come back to Philadelphia and sign with the Detroit Lions last offseason? He wanted to stay. He was offered a 3-year deal worth $24 million, but then his agent got involved, which is kind of weird, and he ended up taking a 1-year, $8 million deal with Detroit. And that wasn't even the best part. Remember shortly after leaving Philly, he was streaming GTA 5, and somebody asked him what his least favorite part of the Eagles were, and he said, "My least favorite thing, it's the people. They're effing obnoxious. I effing can't stand the effers." Geez, tell us how you really feel. Of course, he then went on the Kay Adams show and seemingly ripped the front office 9 months ago.
I don't think no front office from where I've been at understand the player. They see the hair, lash out, going against players on the field, but it's you rather a guy that's passionate about you or not passionate about you. So I think when you get to a spot, you give it your all, and then they just turn their back on you. You just treat it like a business. I'm just here to do what I got to do, make my teammates happy, understand that you can't put your feelings too much into it. So, I don't, like I said, they want to take the game away from the player, but you can't really do it because when you put me out there, you can't find nothing bad about me. I'm always there for my teammates. I'm the first one on the spot. But those type of conversations with the agents, teams, I just let it go in one out the other, because the way they see me and the way other people see me, it's two different things.
Now, no one's denying that CJ Gardner Johnson's still a good safety in this league and would be a massive upgrade over what Philadelphia currently has, which is the Ghost, a very injured ACL, at least Sidney Brown, and basically nobody else. He'd be a great, great upgrade, but does that sound like a guy who actually wants to come back and play for this city, this fan base, and this front office? It'd be like Eagle fans thinking free agent cornerback and former Eagle Steven Nelson would want to come back to Philly, despite his recent comments to Darius Slay in his podcast about how Eagle fans were wearing on his mental health.
I learned quick. I said, "Oh yeah, I gotta get out of here. It's not good for my mental health." Go ahead. I'm stressed out.
I'll stress you out, boy.
I'm stressed out.
Again, just because the Eagles are interested doesn't mean that Gardner Johnson is interested, and so I'll take this one with a big, giant grain of salt. I would say a more likely safety candidate would be Broncos star safety Justin Simmons, who, according to Chad Forbes last week, tweeted, "Justin Simmons to the Eagles has some buzz," with a lot of Z's. Of course, unlike Gardner-Johnson, you have to trade for Simmons. That's kind of a problem, but he is entering the final year of his contract in 2024 and has some serious connection to Vic Fangio, where he had his most productive seasons, and despite being on the older side, would be a massive upgrade for Philadelphia. And unlike some of the Dolphins players who played under Fangio, Simmons loves Vic, and he actually said right after Vic was fired in Denver, quote, "Vic is a guy I always wanted in my corner," and continued by saying he just loves football. He sits in his office all day and watches ball. It's easy to go work for someone like that and to go to bat for him because he does so much work. I've learned so much from him the past 3 years playing for him and getting to game plan with him. Now that sounds like a safety who would want to be in Philadelphia, has the star power to lift the Eagles secondary from where it really was at the end of the season, absolutely terrible, and somebody who obviously wants to play for Vic Fangio as well. Now, of course, combine rumors, anytime you see combine buzz, this is training at the combine, there's a lot of misinformation floating around the combine. So again, much like all the rumors you're going to hear about basically the entire rest of the next 2 weeks, take it with a big giant grain of salt. But if the Eagles are interested in Justin Simmons, I would be 100% for that move. It makes a ton of sense. Now, the big news today comes via Jacob Rabati from the Liberty Line, who tweeted, quote, "Eagles legend Brandon Graham will return to the team in 2024, sources told the Liberty Line. He'll be back on a new contract and is not expected to hit the open market." Now, of course, this isn't a massive surprise. If you remember, BG told the media, like in the locker room after the Bucs loss, that he wanted to come back for one final season on like a farewell tour.
You sound like you're coming back.
I want to.
When you're 12, 13,
Well,
14 years in,
it'll be my farewell tour next year. You know what I'm saying? If the Eagles want me to do it one more time, I would love to be here for another year, because I know we got something special. And 15, my farewell tour, I'll be done next year.
But it is worth noting that there is no contract in place. They haven't officially signed him back, as Ian Rappaport confirmed this morning, saying, well, there's mutual interest and a deal could come prior to free agency. There is no agreement yet for the Eagles and Brandon Graham. To which Rabati doubled down this morning, tweeting, early this offseason, a source explained to the Liberty Line that Brandon Graham would either retire or return to Philadelphia. He will not be retiring, I'm told. He's made it clear to Philadelphia's brass. Graham, like he said after the season ended, truly desires a farewell tour at the Eagles, and if they take him back, he'd come back. The Eagles want him back and will retain him. So no deal is officially official, but as you see here, the true expectation is he will return to Philadelphia. Bringing back Brandon Graham is an absolute no-brainer. Despite the age, despite the dip in production, he's not the superstar player that he once was for Philadelphia. The Eagles still need a veteran voice on both the offense and defense. They lost Kelce yesterday, big-time veteran voice, especially on the offense, and they're most likely going to lose Fletcher, as I said yesterday, big-time, voice on the defense. And so when you look at this very, very young defense, unless you bring in a Justin Simmons or some other big-time veteran in free agency, you need someone to be in the ear of the young guys to help with Nolan Smith and Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis, and BG is exactly that. So while production, it's not going to be great, his snap counts have dropped dramatically the past couple of seasons, I think we all can agree BG on a farewell tour is a good thing for Philadelphia. Now, this is going to be a crazy week. Don't get me wrong. This is going to be an absolutely insane week, and I'll have an update on the Hassan Reddick trade situation tomorrow, as well as some other combine news on a Xavier Worthy that is absolutely fascinating to me. But I'll leave you with this tweet from ML Football last night where he said, "Buckle up. Here we go. The next 2 weeks in the NFL world are about to be insane and bonkers," league agents said. But to be a whole lot of big-time spending from teams and some very surprising moves. Now, we'll see if Philadelphia does any of those moves, but I do expect it to be a wild next couple of days, especially going into next week. $44 million in cap space. Howie Roseman is your GM. Buckle up. If you've not subbed, this is your best shop, your one-stop shop for all things happening with Philadelphia, and the first to get on all of the news basically every single day. I'm Thomas Mott. Again, buckle up. This has been the Thomas Mott Show.